A pleasant good evening to you all. I'm Shane Harris, and welcome back to Shane Harris Tonight, where for the next 3 days we'll finish season 2. Then we'll have a little break just to set up the bracket. Then in December, we have the second Mayhem tournament. But first, not only the fact that we have Wishfart tonight, Chuck's Choice tomorrow, and Ollie's Pack Sunday night, I must say something first. It is with great gratitude that I must thank you all for tuning in to the Fleming's Pumpkin Run. Not only it was successful, not only it was literally my first car show that I ever caught on film that isn't fire truck based. Not only I got to show you some of the most intriguing vehicles ranging from a Pontiac Fiero to a weird kit car known as the Fiberfab Gazelle, I managed to score my first ever video that racked up over 1,000 views. Now my mother is partly to blame in terms of actually sharing the video on Facebook to everyone, which is basically above the demographic I usually serve, but hey, whatever works, works. And I thank everyone for tuning in. Now we just need to get part 2 up, because that one's way behind compared to part 1. And the evidence is there. I just feel so happy right now. But now, let's make things even more happier. Let's deal with Wishfart. Yes, we are back in Canada for the next 3 episodes, and yes, we are dealing with Nelvana again. This one is a bit of the more underrated ones. Only a few people have ever talked about this, notably one of my favorites that sadly isn't really doing much with the channel as of late, that being Benzie Johnson, who also did a Jade Armor and a DNA review, that both of which were primarily useful in my additional info searching in order to develop those episodes of Shane Harris Tonight. But anyway, here we have a series that is pretty unique, and just by looking at it, you can already tell it's gonna be interesting. A youngster by the name of Desmond, or simply branded as Dez with a Z, then a puffin, and a ghost and a spirit. All surprisingly being a trio that all happens to be the best of friends. And they do the most random of things, and also sometimes get themselves in trouble because Dez happens to be a secret leprechaun who has crazy powers. And, well, the rest is pretty strange, weird, crazy, maybe absurd, but at the same time, it fills its need for being a silly, episodic, whimsical little piece of Canadian animation. Sadly, like most of the stuff that's been coming out of Canada as of late, this never aired on US television. However, all the episodes are up on YouTube, both officially and unofficially. Plus, you'll actually like some of the tricks the official Wishfart page managed to pull up. Like, they even participated in a little viral trend known as the Bojack Challenge, where they recreate, part of the Bojack the Horseman opening, where you have a main character just facing toward the camera, and the background just changes, and the character just has some subtle changes along the way, which in this case, Dez is in Bojack's role this time. I'll have that in the link in the description below. Of course, this show also felt bittersweet because, first, one of the side characters, who happens to be a leprechaun cop who drives around in a Ford Galaxy police cruiser, happens to be played by Samantha Weinstein, who just came off the 2016 MGM/20th release of Carrie. And she would do Wishfart, and then she would end up doing DNAs as Sloane and a few extra characters before she passed away. Not too long thereafter. Of course, Wishfart's crew posted out a nice little tribute known as 28 Forever as a nod to the age of said actress. Also of note, this, because it's a Nelvana show, you would expect the current polar bear design, the very cutesy royal blue with white, that actually changes background once the star flips. Well, it turns out that's not the case. Despite coming out after 2016, aka after Mysticons, this show bizarrely keeps using the 2004 logo, which, funny enough, debuted on this very night, way back in 2004, with the release of 16 of all TV shows. So, that is kind of coincidental in my book. The animation is done in Flash, and it actually does have like a Fox Sunday night / bento box kind of vibe, which I'm fine with. Very well executed, and also, you'll get a kick out of the music, which, funny enough, you can actually officially stream. Both the Christmas song, known as Christmas to the Max, and the show's 1-minute opening title can easily be streamed, and you'll have a blast because it is that fun. A little bit of electronic bops here and there. It doesn't hurt. Speaking of other major stuff that happens within the show, one character that does need some clarification is the Puffin. Guess who plays him? If you said Sergio DeZio, you are correct. Because many years after the TV show Flashpoint, which aired on Ion in the US, and years after his breakout Nelvana role on Wayside, he would end up playing the Puffin, and he did it pretty well. Well, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed that show in particular, which you can easily find on YouTube. But remember, because this is the final 3, and I want to get everything done before things get hectic at work beginning next week because we're setting up for Thanksgiving, we're going to have Chuck's Choice tomorrow night at 8 o'clock and Ollie's Pack Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Till then, I'm Shane Harris. Good night.